So the December bullet journal freebie will come to you in the form of a Dropbox link. You'll simply click the link in the email that's sent to you and it will open the files. You have a couple of options as far as saving the files. So I'll kind of walk you through. I'm going to be opening the Dropbox app, which you don't have to have, but this is what the freebie will look like. It has 4 folders in it. The first folder is if you would like to print your bullet journal freebie the size of like an 8.5 by 11, which I'll show you in a minute. This folder is if you would like to print your bullet journal freebie for December kind of half size, more of a small binder size. And then there's the free coloring page. And then if you're going to go totally electronic, totally digital, this will be the folder that will house your GoodNotes or Notability PDF. So I'll just walk you through. For the purpose of this, you can see here, here's all the files. They are half side in the A4 because this is meant to be printed 8.5 by 11 on both sides. So if you would like to save this file on your iPad, the best option to save the file is to your Files app, which is this icon right here. So when you're in the Dropbox link and you want to save each of these files, all you have to do is hit the 3 dots, click Export, and then you might have to say Open In. And then you can go ahead and choose Saved Files. Looks just like that app. And then this is my iCloud Drive. I do have mine organized into folders. So you navigate to where you want to save it and then simply click Add. And it will save this file. You can do that with each of the files and then print from there. You also have the option of simply printing from this screen. So you don't have to save them anywhere. You can keep the Dropbox link and simply choose print and then go ahead and print and use it. I'll show you how I print mine in just a minute. So your freebie comes as a Dropbox link with printing options, a coloring page. The coloring page comes in 2 versions, a PDF version, which again you can just print out and color. Or if you, again, have an iPad or an iPad Pro, there's a PNG version. And the PNG, that kind of file name, just means that the background is transparent. I know it looks white here, but it really is transparent. You can bring it into an app like Procreate and color right on it. So that's why there's 2 options, one to print, the PDF, one to color electronically, the PNG. And then finally, again, your freebie comes with the Notability file or the GoodNotes file, which I'll show you up next. So the main reason that I decided to share this freebie is because I am attempting to bullet journal in 2019 digitally, which means currently I bullet journal in an actual notebook, using markers and pencils and erasers and a lot of stuff, which I love. I love the tactile version of that. However, I do carry my iPad everywhere. I do have the iPad Pro and the pencil, and these really do lend themselves to planning and doing things digitally. So if you do not have an iPad 6th generation or an iPad Pro with a pencil, this next portion of the tutorial probably won't apply to you because really you can only do the electronic version of this bullet journal freebie if you have an iPad Pro. This is last year's version and the Apple Pencil. So if you don't want to do that and you want to just print, you can kind of skip forward a little bit. I'll show you how to print it out. But for now, I'm going to show you how to open up the December bullet journal freebie in GoodNotes so you can plan digitally. So again, I just clicked on here in the freebie. the December Good Notes or Notability folder. And what you'll notice is there's just a PDF. So we're gonna click on that PDF. It's gonna take a little bit. It's a pretty large file. And then we are going to be clicking the 3 dots up here once it kind of loads. And then what you'll notice is we're gonna choose to open it in a certain app. So here's the file itself. It's a PDF of the December calendar, week 1, week 2, week 3, 4, a place to keep track of Christmas lists, and a place for December memories, and then a blank page. But it doesn't really do anything right here. The magic happens in an app. So I'm gonna choose export, and then again, I'm gonna choose open in, and I wanna choose Good Notes. You can also use Notability. I prefer Good Notes. It's what I know, but Notability would work the same way. So we're gonna say copy to Good Notes. It's gonna export the file to Good Notes. It's gonna ask if I want to import it into uncategorized. Sure. And it's gonna come up. You notice I already have one here, but I'll show you. Here is, you click on it and it's opened in Good Notes. So I'll take a minute and walk you through Good Notes a little bit. The cool thing about Good Notes is it allows items to be linked. So you can move through Good Notes in a couple of ways. Here's the main page, the December calendar. But if I swipe, there's week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, the gifts, the memories, the blank page. Now you'll notice in order to swipe like this, you do have to have this button lit. So if this was unchecked, meaning you'd click one of these other ones and it's not lit, you would not be able to do this swiping motion. In order to swipe, this has to be selected. Then I can move through each of the pages. However, the cool thing is with a digital bullet journal, everything is linked. So I'll kind of draw your attention to the tabs. So we have a front, we have the gifts page, we have the memories, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So I'm currently at the front, which is this tab, but I can move directly to the gifts page by clicking the gifts tab. So that's what's really cool about creating a Good Notes file is I've linked all these pages for you, so you simply have to click to go back to the front, to go to week 3, it just loads for you. So that's the really cool feature about Good Notes. As long as this button is selected, you can move from one page to the next by swiping or by using the tabs. Now to actually do your planning in Good Notes, you're gonna use some of the tools up here. And the main tool you're probably gonna use is the pen tool. So if you click on the pen tool, it will bring up, you can choose your colors. So there's presets, it's kind of a small, this is where you can choose just basic colors, how wide your pencil is, or you can go to custom and choose whatever you want. This little slider here is the size of your pen from very, very small to fairly large. I kind of fall somewhere in the 2 range, chosen my color. There's other settings like what kind of, do you want a fountain pen or a ball pen? Different things like that. Again, you can enter a color manually or a thickness. I don't mind using the slider, and then that's what I want it to be. And then you can write, as long as your pen is selected, right on there. So my daughter has a basketball game on December 1st. I do have a color associated with Ellie. It's orange. So I would just go ahead and write, she has a game in Hopkins, right on that day. And then I could also go, as long as I click to here, to week 1, find on there as well and write it on week 1. Or if you have something that falls on week 3, you can write. The other thing you can do with the pen tool is, I'm going to erase that real quick. With this is you can use the highlighter. So if there's things you want to highlight, same, you'll notice it's kind of muted. It simply means that it's all those same colors, just more of a highlighting mode. And then again, change your size and you can highlight like so. This right here is the eraser tool. If there's something that you don't like, you can just erase it right away. So again, pen tool, highlighter, eraser. Lasso tool we're not going to use with the freebie. When I offered the 2019 planner, I'm going to show you how to use the lasso tool with stickers. It's pretty great. And then of course, this is the most important thing. If you want to move between pages, you have to be on that tool. Another great writing tip is if you are here and writing in this tiny box is too small, you have two options. Option number one, you can of course 2-finger zoom and zoom in and out, 2 fingers, kind of like any app does. And then choose your pen tool. My favorite way actually in GoodNotes to do it is when we bring up the regular menu. There we go. When we zoom this out, there's a little box up here that has a pen in it. If you click that, it's going to bring up a text box and you can move this text box wherever you want. Let's say you want it right there. And then you want to write, it's this space down here is zoomed in. So then you can write what you want right there. And then you can see that it's right there. I'll zoom in a little bit. It just makes it a little bit easier so you're not writing in such a tiny space. So that's another great option for adding notes to your digital bullet journal. Another feature with the pen that you can use in GoodNotes, and really the design behind why I did it this way, is I've done it in a doodle format, black and white, because the intent is that you can go ahead and color it in. So in GoodNotes, you can actually color in the letters, the doodles, and kind of make the page your own. So on the pen tool, I've just chosen red. I've gotten to like a 3 or a 4 on size. And then I'm just going to zoom in. So let's say to the candy cane here. And I'm just going to color with the pen tool. Trying to maintain the black lines, but it doesn't have to be perfect. But you can actually go in and color the doodles and kind of make each page uniquely yours. Another nice feature is you'll notice that this bullet journal comes loaded with a calendar, gifts page, memory, week 1, 2, 3, and 4, but it also comes with an extra page at the back, and I'll show you how to use that. The other trick too I forgot to mention earlier is if you don't have this button selected, you can use 2 fingers to move even though that's not selected, but 1 usually doesn't do it, but 2 fingers will swipe. Now if you swipe all the way, there's a blank page at the end. You can copy this blank page and insert it as many times as you want. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, if you want to add your own page, your own drawings, your own images, whatever you want to do, you can copy this page. I recommend that you keep this one where it's at so you always have an extra. So here's how you copy. So we're going to go to, instead of the full view, we're going to go to the view of all the pages. So now you can see all of them there, and the blank one is highlighted. So we're going to click edit. We're going to click that one and we're going to choose copy. So now we've copied it. It's kind of sitting there waiting. And then we're going to go back to our main layout, we're going to click the plus button, and you'll notice after each one, there's a plus. So you are going to choose where you would like that blank page. Let's say you want to add something right after the last weekly, but before the Christmas gifts. You choose that plus. You can insert a blank page, import a page, or paste copied pages. And then, boom, that one is there. Now, let's say you decide you don't want that there. Click it. Oops, go back to this. Edit, choose, trash, move page 1 to the trash, and then it's gone. So again, I'll show you that. Again, you just choose this, copy, it's pasted, click done. Now you want to add it here. Oops. Put the plus sign, add, paste. However, this blank page is not linked. So because it wasn't one of the pre-loaded linked pages, it's not going to show up here, but you get to it, simply go to week 3, week 4, there's your blank page. So it's not going to be linked, but it's pretty easy to get to simply by swiping. So if you don't have an iPad Pro and a pencil and you aren't able to do the pages electronically, cool thing is you can print them out. And you have 2 options. One, you can print them out and put them in an actual 8.5 by 11, which is also known as A4 binder. Or you can do kind of a half size. This is an A5. So I've provided in the file A4 and A5. And then I simply put them in my binder, printed them out on my printer. So the calendar takes an entire full 2 sides, left and right. The other option you have, if you don't want it this big, you can just print it out as just one 8.5 by 11 and simply put it in 3-hole punch that way. And then you can print out the weekly pages, left and right, lots of space to write. So printing them in an 8.5 by 11 is an option. And then the other option would be to print for what's considered an A5. And this simply needs to be printed, cut down the middle. An A5 does require a specific hole punch, but if you have an A5, you'll know what it is. And you just hole punch each side. You might have to trim it a little bit to make sure it fits, but it goes in an A5 binder like this, very similar to how it goes in a A4 or 8.5 by 11. And then of course you can also print out the coloring sheet and color away. Now I'm offering the month of December free because I just really want people to try this out, see if they like it, and I am going to be offering starting in January a full year. So basically what will happen is you'll get a month at a time. January will be released around December 10th. So you have plenty of time to get your new year kind of all settled. And I'm going to walk you through different things that'll come with the full version. You'll get collections, and then you'll get certain pages each month. And then the next month, you'll get the next set of pages. So eventually, you'll be able to have this kind of full bullet journal for an entire month. Now, the other cool thing about the full one that's coming out for 2019 is you have different choices for backgrounds. You can see how this looks like it's sitting on a kind of a whitewashed wood. And then the journal itself, it's made to look like a real journal sitting on a tabletop, is this kind of one of my favorite colors, kind of a turquoise. There will be a couple of different cover options on the new one, and then lots of links. So that's my favorite part about a digital bullet journal, is just the ease of moving between weeks and collections with links. So if you are interested, that's going to be released in a little bit, kind of mid-December.